Right, so recently there's been a back and forth online between a creator and a business, and I think it's fair to say, in terms of the reaction in the comment section, the business came out the worse. Now, just to show you who we're talking about today, we've got a TikToker called Christian Chanel with 115,000 followers. And here we have a company called Glamlite, which I believe does like makeup products. It says in the caption, they're vegan and cruelty free. As we can also see in the playlist, they've worked with Michaela, who is someone we actually know on this channel. But this back and forth only started 2 days ago, and we have a few videos to get through here. And this first video is actually by Christian Chanel.
I'm going to expose Glamlite Cosmetics because I often feel like as Black creators, we are disregarded and devalued and our stories go untold. As of today, I have sold a total of $92,335.58 of Glamlite cosmetic products on TikTok Shop.
Honestly, I didn't know that TikTok Shop was this successful, by the way. I keep seeing videos recently from people talking about how much money they've made just from promoting stuff on TikTok Shop, and obviously they get like a commission for the product. I did not know it was that successful. I feel like whenever I see a product being promoted on TikTok Shop, I just assume it's not going to be great. But no, clearly people do listen to these videos. I mean, Christian just said right here that she has sold, what, $92,000 worth of products just for her videos on TikTok Shop.
My total products sold for this brand is 5,290. The total views that I've garnered for this brand on my page is 4,595,616 views. Now, I just want to be clear. This was all done without any ad code, without any targeted plan, without any paid promotion, without any contracts. This was just organic.
You shouldn't have done that though. I get it, right? Because you get like a commission and stuff. But if you're selling that amount of products for a company, you should absolutely put a halt to that and say, no, I'm not going to do it until you keep paying me. You've seen the numbers. You've seen that I can sell these products. Pay me something. And that's actually probably going to be a bit of a reoccurring theme throughout this video, because clearly Glamlite like the fact that they could just get this huge creator who's getting like millions of views for their products, selling nearly $100,000 worth of products, to just do all this stuff for free, basically, right? She gets a commission. I think it's about 15%.
In December of 2023 specifically, I want to say I sold about $72,000 worth of Glamlite products. They invited me to their offices, to say thank you and to also discuss future opportunities. During this time, they mentioned an upcoming Black History collection with Fresh Prince of Bel-Air that they wanted for me to be the face of, because obviously I'm Black and I was just, doing well. Now, again, up until this point, we've had no official business. So I did tell them, okay, well, speak to my manager. Let's work this out. The vibe immediately changed and I was met with, well, we don't really have the budget.
Oh, they have the budget. Clearly they're making a lot of money, especially considering we're talking about budget that would be going towards someone who's already sold $100,000 pretty much of your product. And Christian showing the products in her videos is one thing, but if you're going to try and do this whole like promotion with like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and you want to use Christian in the promotion of that, you absolutely have to pay her.
And granted, I was stunned because in that month of December 2023 specifically, I made them around $72,000. And on top of that, to my knowledge, they had just paid another creator, non-Black male, who just had a birthday at their facilities, upwards of $1 million plus royalty. Plus, if I'm not mistaken, they had a collaboration with Michaela, and I know for sure she's not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to know how much Michaela gets paid for these TikTok videos. I would genuinely imagine it is upwards of like $50,000 if I had to guess. And that's just for a TikTok, by the way. I don't doubt for a second when Michaela reviews a product, they get like a ridiculous amount of sales. Companies love that. They will put a lot of money towards that. But here we have a company that's stating that they don't have a budget. Clearly they do have a budget. They're making a lot of money and they're paying a lot of money to other creators. But because Christian had already made like a bunch of videos promoting the product for a lot cheaper than what these other creators are getting paid, again, just 15% in commission, this company probably just feels like, oh, we don't have to pay you. You've already done so much for us. So unfortunately, Christian has put herself in a bit of a shitty position here in terms of like leverage in this negotiations, but this company should absolutely be paying her, especially again if they're going to be using her for a specific promotion.
Definitely taken aback and definitely disappointed because I mean they haven't even talked to my manager. Like they didn't even know what my rates were to even deny said rate.
Oh, so this is before anything was even mentioned. It could have just been literally like $1,000 or something. Obviously it would be more than that. I wonder how much she actually made of this. Roughly about $14,000, I believe. Yeah, she should have definitely got paid more than that.
Also in that meeting, the brand owner tried to smooth things over with, I'm also a Black woman. I'm Afro-Caribbean or whatever it is that she is. And, I get the struggle. I don't understand how she could understand any struggle when I've just made her company $72,000 in 1 month without any sort of advertising or anything like that. And she is to my face devaluing me and not even giving me the same common respect or courtesy to even speak to my manager or discuss any sort of possibility for anything financially when it comes to me being the face of a campaign that she wants to essentially exploit me as being, a Black person. Her brand is inclusive. Her brand is diverse. Well, like, it just seems very performative to me. But hey.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, from this video, it really does seem like this company is just thinking, oh, you've done so much for us for free. We're obviously not going to pay you now. And it feels like Christian is in a bit of a shitty position because of this. But just because his company clearly has leverage in this negotiation here, they should just clearly do the right thing, especially when you're talking about a creator who's done so good for your company. You should be wanting to work with her as much as possible and paying her pretty much as you possibly can. And when I say as much as they possibly can, I don't mean genuinely like their whole bank account. I just mean in comparison to what she has made the company. And when you take away all the costs for the products and everything, they should obviously keep a good bit of profit for their product, but then Christian should get a decent chunk here.
That's not my normal commission rate. Can you please up my commission rate? I was told they didn't know how to put me on a targeted plan, but they would try to figure it out.
A targeted plan? What do they mean by that? To me, I could be wrong, it almost comes across as they're trying to say like, oh, we don't know how well it's going to do, so we don't know what type of commission to give you, but they clearly do know how well it's going to do because she's already done it so much before. I mean, surely if they didn't want to just give her like a set amount of money, upping the commission is not difficult at all. Put it to like 25% at least, maybe a tad more. Like, maybe the situation wouldn't have happened and your company wouldn't be getting the backlash it is now. But if you just did that.
My manager emails them to follow up. No response. I didn't get a response until 4 months and 6 days later.
Oh, wow.
In which still no update on my targeted plan. My plan still has not changed with this brand, although I've not posted any new videos about this brand. As well as that same collection that they told me they had no budget for me for, is the same collection that they invited for me to come out to the event for.
Yeah, I was about to say, what? So basically when you ask to be paid for what you're worth from the great work you're doing for this company, right? They made a lot of money from your videos, and all of a sudden like, no, we're not going to pay you, but you can come to the event, would love to have you there. Maybe we could take some pictures and that. Of course they're going to want the customer there who's done so well for their company before, but they don't want to pay you for it. It's a bit baffling.
That email was an even bigger slap in the face. Like, I could have just left it at being disrespected back in December, but to circle the block and not respond for 4 months and 6 days, and then to email my manager back with basically nothing.
Yeah, obviously you can tell she's very frustrated about this situation, and I don't blame her. But after this video actually went up, Glamlite themselves, or I guess the founder, I'm assuming, actually responded.
As a woman of color-owned brand, it is my responsibility to come here and address these allegations that are being made. So let's go ahead and talk about the situation. This situation has been a huge misunderstanding. First thing is first. I have never told Christian Chanel, not me or anyone on my team, whether via email, text message, or DM, that we didn't have a budget for her.
Okay, so this is obviously one of them things where it's like, who do you believe? Because Christian Chanel says that they say they didn't have a budget. Now we've got Glamlite here saying that they never said that. Christian Chanel then follows up in a most recent video saying that they did say it. That's what, it's who do you believe in this situation?
On December 29th, I received a text message from Christian that she wanted to follow up in regards to maybe discussing the partnership.
Okay.
Because I'm only one person, I'm the CEO of the company, I run finance, I do product development, I help pack orders, I go on live, I do the licensing. I'm already spreading myself thin enough, so therefore I can't handle day-to-day communications with influencers. Therefore, I told her I was going to connect her with my team member. I gave her the information of a marketing assistant who had just joined our team probably 2 months prior. I delegated the tasks and responsibilities to my assistant to be in charge of coordinating with Christian to make sure that we were able to make this partnership as successful as possible. My assistant received an email from Christian Chanel's manager in January. Even though I wasn't CC'd on that email, she brought it to my attention and asked me how I would like to address it. So therefore, I informed her of whatever we were going to be offering Christian as a model, and she began to draft that message. I reviewed it for her. It was 5 paragraphs. It covered absolutely everything on all the information that we wanted Christian to know. In addition to giving Christian Chanel my personal phone number, which I rarely do, Our VP also gave her his phone number just in case she needed anything from us. She can have the direct communication with us. He reached out to her. So in February, he was inviting her to an event. Literally, she left him completely on read, never even responded to the messages.
Okay, so here's the text where they said they were left on read. It says, "We are thrilled to extend an exclusive invitation to you for the grand celebration of our iconic Glamlite X Betty Boop launch." Okay, so I guess this is the event that they invited to after saying that they weren't going to pay her, according to Christian, and she decided not to go, which, I mean, would be fair enough if her story is true. I would completely understand that. But let's carry on listening to this video and see if there's any more important information we need.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, the team member that was in charge of reviewing that communication ended up leaving the team right around the end of January, which only left us with one marketing assistant. Our Fresh Prince collection was originally supposed to launch February 2024. However, we made a few internal decisions to postpone the launch to the end of May. Therefore, the campaign that we were going to work on with Christian, we weren't going to be doing any planning for it until a few weeks from now.
Okay, so she says the reason why there was a lack of communication is because the person who was speaking to Christian ended up leaving the company, and then they ended up putting the promotion back a bit. Which makes sense. I'm sure promotions get put back all the time, but I guess the lack of communication here is the problem. And obviously she's saying here that there's just like a couple of us at the company who aren't able to communicate properly. That's a bit of a problem for the company. It can result in situations like this.
So I approached my assistant and I asked her, hey, what ended up happening with Christian Chanel? Did you ever hear back from the email that you sent to her? And that's when she's like, no, I haven't heard back from them. So I said, you know what, let's go back into the email. Let me see what you said to them or what was their response. And as soon as she clicked that email open, I saw that the email was on drafts. And this is a mistake that could happen to any one of us.
Okay, so she's saying she did write out the email, but then didn't click send. That's the reason for all of this, apparently. And again, I guess it's one of them situations where it's either you believe it or you don't. How are we supposed to prove that?
This is something that I'm apologizing to her for. This is me giving you a sincere apology for something that could have been easily avoided, something that it was an oversight. And the heartbreaking part of the situation is that even if I would have received like a simple text message, hey Giselle, like I didn't hear back from your assistant, or telling Anthony, hey Anthony, I didn't hear back from your assistant, I would have had the opportunity to make it right. I would have been more than honored and more than happy to go ahead and address the situation because I was really excited to work with her.
I mean, that's fair to say and everything, but if you have told her, like, look, I'm not going to be good with communication, here's someone else's contact information to speak to instead who's part of my team, of course she's only going to really speak to that person. Right? She might feel like it's almost crossing a boundary to text you, even if she did have your number. I'm just trying to put myself in Christian's shoes, and I feel like that would probably be the mindset I have as well.
The email that was sent to her, which I'm going to attach right here, not once did I ever mention, we don't have the budget for you. Whether it was text message, whether it was phone call, we have never said those words to Christian Chanel.
So I believe Christian said that that was said in person. So, again, impossible to really prove.
In Christian Chanel's video, she mentions that she brought in $93,000 in sales for a brand, which I'm ridiculously grateful for. However, as a TikTok Shop affiliate, she earns 15% of the entire sales that happen. Through the videos that she created, she earned $13,700, which were paid directly to her by TikTok. And I'm over here attaching the screenshot so that you can see the evidence. So I just want to clarify that never have I asked Christian Chanel to do this campaign for free. Never have I told her that I don't have a budget for her to create content or do this campaign.
Okay, clearly, right, it does seem like she's right here when she's saying, look, I've never asked her to do this promotional work. That's fair enough. But surely if there is a creator out there that's doing so well for your product, so well in fact that you want them to be part of like a promotion that you're doing, you should set up like a different way of paying them instead of just offering the basic 15% that anybody gets. Now again, like I mentioned before, Christian really did kind of put herself in a bit of a shitty position right here because she had done so much work without really being paid from the company. She just got some commission. So yeah, this is, I assume, why the companies went with this mindset, which I don't agree with.
Now let's address the second serious allegation that was made in that video. She stated that I paid a particular influencer over $1 million plus bonus and royalties to come to our warehouse and promote our products. This Hispanic beauty influencer that I invited to my warehouse was actually last year. The videos that she's referring to were from last year that we just posted now. I had reached out to him because he had been showing genuine love and support through my brand through his reviews. And the same way I did with her, I reached out to him and said, hey, I would love to have you over at my warehouse. We got some decorations, very simple decorations from Dollar Tree. We got hemp lunch. And we have not paid him not even a single dollar, not even 4 cents.
If that's true and she didn't pay this person anything, I wonder where the $1 million number came from, because that is obviously a very, very big difference.
Any content that she created, organic content that she created on her own free will through TikTok Shop, she was fully compensated for. As a woman, we should not be putting ourselves against each other. This situation could have been avoided with just a simple communication. I would have gladly had this conversation with you. I would have apologized in person. I would have jumped on the phone call.
Okay, look, the fact that she's saying you should have reached out by text, I somewhat understand. Again, I can also see Christian's point of view here, why she potentially wouldn't do that. But I can also see this perspective of why didn't you reach out to me? But then you've got the fact that she did put her in touch with somebody else because she said her communication would be good. It's a bit of a tricky one.
I'm personally pledging $100,000 to POC micro-influencers. As I mentioned before, I don't believe in sponsorships just because I think it's unethical to pay someone to review a product and tell them what to say. Therefore, what I have done in the past with these particular pledges is I pay you to create content. I pay you strictly for your tutorial. I send you the product. I agree on a rate with you. And once you post your content, you're free to say whatever you like.
Okay, so you've heard what she said with pledging the money, which is great. I did also come away from this video thinking, okay, so is there going to be some business relationship with Christian? It seems like that's not going to be the case. I mean, there's not many comments on this video because they've been limited and only certain people can comment. Apparently, it's only available if you're mutual friends with Glamlite. So yeah, as you can tell, not a lot. But someone did comment saying, okay, now that everything has been settled, will she be properly compensated for her work? And the basic response is kind of what we just heard. She's already been paid the money from TikTok Shop, which is the 15% commission, just like anyone else on this app. And then this is what brings us to Christian's newest video.
Giselle, this situation is not a misunderstanding. In your video, you doubled down on being a manipulator, a liar, and a gaslighter. As of today, May 22nd, 2024, you have still not changed my commission rate on TikTok Shop, despite me making over $90,000 for your company, despite you agreeing to this in person on December 20th, 2023. It is now 5 months and I believe 2 days later after that agreement. This also comes after my manager emailed on January the 3rd asking about my commission change, which you admittedly saw, yet to date on May the 22nd, 2024, there still has been no change in my commission. I don't really know how you explain that.
Okay, yeah, clearly, there has been a lot of bad communication, especially on the side of Glamlite throughout the situation.
Many people may know, not having offers in writing is oftentimes a brand's way of negotiating an unaccountable and non-legally binding agreements just in case something like this occurs. I maintain that when you asked for me to be the face of your Fresh Prince of Bel-Air collection, I asked you to speak to my manager to negotiate a possible deal or some sort of payment, and that is when you told me that you did not have the budget.
Okay, so again, like I said before, this is just really a case of who do you believe? Because how the hell are we supposed to know who is telling the truth here?
You swiftly followed up with manipulation and gaslighting tactics by insinuating that I could have or I should have contacted you all if I had an issue or if I felt the type of way. Unfortunately, I am not in the business of begging. I gave you 2 opportunities to do the right thing. One on December 20th, you did not. The second on January the 3rd, you did not. There was no further conversation for us to have. Furthermore, because I stand on business, I did leave your VP Anthony on red when he invited me to one of you all's events.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, right? She said she did reach out twice with no response, and of course she left the message on red because of this. I think that is completely fair on Christian's side.
As for the influencer Das Mendoza that I claimed that you paid upwards of $1 million to plus royalties for a collaboration or campaign or whatever, obviously I cannot confirm or deny that because I do not have the contracts. However, again, your truth, his truth.
Okay, so with her saying that, so is this content creator claiming that they got paid $1 million for their product? I'm assuming that's where she got this information from, right? With the way she's saying this, and then Glamlite is saying that they didn't pay anything. That's a fucking huge difference. I mean, I don't really know who the creator is. I don't know how big they are, but $1 million for anything, in the world, really, but especially just, a promotion on TikTok, it seems? That seems a bit absurd. I know makeup companies pay a lot, but is it really that much?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air collection situation. You stated that at the end of February, you didn't know if you would still be launching the collection, blase, blase, blase. On May 9th, Fatima, your marketing manager, emailed my manager stating that you would love to give me more information on the event that you had already been planning for the launch of your Fresh Prince collection. You emailed me on May the 9th. On May the 10th of 2024 is when you started promoting your Fresh Prince of Bel-Air collection. You had already had the packaging, you had already had models, you already had campaign images, campaign videos, etc. How is it that if you truly wanted for me to be a part of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air collection, that you did not reach out to me or email my manager at the same time in which you were finding models and organizing photo shoots and all of that? The question is rhetorical.
Yeah, I think that is a fair point, right? Glamlite are saying that they put the promotion back and everything like this, but they are doing all of this work throughout this and didn't decide to reach out to Christian throughout any of it.
You contributed to this disrespect the moment that you had your marketing manager email my manager on May the 9th, 2024, 4 months and 6 days after my manager's original email, stating that you all were excited about the possibility of placing me on a targeted TikTok Shop affiliate plan. 15% is not my normal commission rate. And when I did meet you in person on December 20th, I told you what my normal rate was. And even with me selling over $90,000 worth of Glamlite products, you still did not increase my commission rate to what I am actually worth, to what I told you it is that I was worth. And you went further to state that I should have still reached out to you to express my grievances, when on May the 9th, 2024, you knew exactly the email that was going out. You still had not at the very least changed my commission rate. And even after seeing my video go up yesterday, you yourself, instead of reaching out to me, phone call, text, email, mail, etc., you turn off all of your comments, you delete the video of Dos Mendoza at your headquarters, and you put out this pseudo sense of an apology video.
Yeah, so clearly you can tell she's very frustrated about the situation, and rightly so. I think anyone would be frustrated in this situation. It really does seem like a situation to me where businesses realize they have a lot more leverage in negotiations. They don't want to have to pay more than they already did, because Christian had already been promoting this work before for like a really, really low commission in the grand scheme of things, especially the amount of money that she ended up making for the company. And then on top of that, there was just really bad communication where they were ignoring a bunch of emails, but then all of a sudden wanted her to come to like an event. I can see why she'd be frustrated. But yeah, I would love to know your opinions in the comment section down below on everything that we spoke about in today's video. I'm gonna leave it there, so leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.